Excuse me, my name's Linda Lee and I work for the Airport Authority's Research Division. We're trying to find out what travellers think of the facilities here. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
Not at all. My flight's been delayed several hours, so I have all the time in the world.
You look very smartly dressed. Am I right in thinking you're on a work-related trip?
Well, thanks, but no, I'm not. I usually dress smartly because it gives you a better chance of being upgraded to business or first class if the plane is overbooked.
Clever. I've never thought of that. So you're heading off for a nice holiday somewhere.
I wish I were. Unfortunately, my mother, she lives in the UK, has been taken ill, so I'm going home to see her.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. So you know what to tick there, Chris? Well, I guess you've already answered my second question, which is about the length of your flight. London is quite a distance, isn't it?
You can say that again, though I still think doing the trip in 13 hours is something of a miracle.
And how often do you fly each year? Is it just once or twice?
Oh no, I fly way more than that. I have to do a lot of travelling for work, so I reckon probably about 10 to 12 trips a year.
Wow, up to a dozen trips a year? That's a lot. And do you fly to the UK often?
Not really. This is the first time in years, actually. I can't bear the weather, you know. I prefer Thailand for my holidays, so I fly to Bangkok several times a year. Bangkok's so close. I also go to Singapore for business quite frequently, and as my daughter's studying in Australia, I fly to Sydney quite often. That's S-Y, not S-I. You spelt it wrong.
Oh, Chris, just copy it from the flight information up there. Now, what do you most like about the environment of this airport? I mean, the layout, the design, that kind of thing.
Well, firstly, I really appreciate the daylight.
Daylight?
Yes, so many airports are all closed in and gloomy. They make you feel like you're in a plane already. But all these windows, they make it seem as if you're outside. It's very thoughtful of the designers. Another thing I like is that there's plenty of lounge space.
What do you mean by lounge space?
Well, take the seats we're sitting on in this lounge, for example. There's a big space between each row. Some airports cram all the passengers together while they're waiting, so they're all hot and bothered before they even get on the plane.
That's a good point.
And a third thing I like is the moving walkways. Airports are getting bigger and bigger, but not all of them have moving walkways. Sometimes you have to walk for miles to get to the boarding gate or the immigration desk.
I know what you mean. London Airport is especially bad. Let me ask you about the things you don't like now. What are the things that you think could be improved?
Well, I have to say the shops are often overcrowded. There are plenty of them, but really not enough space to move around them comfortably. Another thing is, there's no post office in the transit lounge. I've got a whole bunch of cheques I need to send here and nowhere to post them.
That's a nuisance. We'll have to do something about that.
Oh, and I suppose one more thing is the trolleys are too small.
That's Trolley, Chris.
I don't mean the trolleys in the check-in hall. I mean the transit lounge ones.
You'd better specify that, Chris. He means only the transit lounge trolleys. OK, finally, what I'd like to do is ask you to compare Hong Kong with Singapore Airport, which is one you say you go to quite often. So would you say Singapore Airport is better, worse, or about the same as regards facilities?
I'm afraid I'd have to say I like Singapore Airport more. Yeah, it still has the edge over everywhere else.
And what is it that makes it superior to Hong Kong? Anything in particular?
Well, for one thing, it has more greenery. You know, potted palms, flowers. There's even a garden. Yeah, more greenery.
Right, more greenery.
And another thing is, it has a movie theatre. You know, a cinema where you can watch free movies.
Wow, that's great. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
My pleasure.
And I hope you can find something to occupy yourself for the next few hours. In the meantime, put your business card in our lucky draw hat. You could at least win some DVDs for yourself.
That's the end of task 1. You now have 1 minute to tidy up your answers.